So we're live.
We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast hosted by another nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And good evening, Nerdy Up North. I don't know. That was my best impression. I don't think it didn't quite work. I tried. So yes, I am the other host, Paul, and I am joined by a very special guest this evening. I was gonna I was gonna be a dick and do like Chris's picture like smaller than everyone else, just to like be a true reflection of life. But no,
I'm a biggin.
yeah, he's a big boy now. But yeah, I don't want to get accused of bullying on YouTube like I did on TikTok, because apparently I can't say anything nasty about Chris.
No, they're very,
TikTok's
very
protective
sensitive.
of him.
I think they'd see us as some sort of protected species or something.
It's like we haven't got Chris for a long time, so we've got to make it worth it. Well, what Chris was telling us off camera, it's like, say, it might be just ears. Never mind. So yeah. We'll do a nice memorial episode. We'll make it all shiny.
Oh, brilliant! Thanks.
I will remember you.
Oh.
So yes, so this is taking a dark turn. Now Chris is
Sorry, Chris.
he's made some mistakes in his life. Now he's like, why is this happening to me? So how are you today, Chris?
I'm good. Yourself? Oh man, I was gonna do the good morning Vietnam greeting instead of you're right, but you've nicked
But you can't
it.
help yourself. And was that you mocking my wave earlier?
No, I genuinely like doing that.
Yeah,
and that's
I remember.
the episode, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Maybe I only do have a few days left.
We really can't end it here. I've got too much going on up here. I need to get it out.
Before we get it out,
yeah,
because I'm only going to show this video once. I'm probably at the end as well, because I know there's people in the chat that are literally gagging to see this video. Gagging, yeah.
Lee's disappointed by it, by the way.
All right.
Why?
Yeah, the only reason because Lee was clever. He did his video in 60 seconds. No, but this video is a 3-minute video.
Oh, okay. Let's get it out of the way with then.
Yeah. I think you're playing the long one. I said the theatrical release.
I cut out the bit with the weird music in the middle. So.
Chris, do you want to set this up for people as to if anyone's not knowing what's going on?
Yeah. So basically, during the 31 Days of Halloween challenge thing, me and Lee were doing promo short things. And basically Lee came out and said, oh, if this video gets more likes or interactions than Chris's video, I'll do a bath in a tub of gravy. I thought, oh, brilliant, I'll one-up him because I think he'll win. And I said, all right, if mine gets more, I'll eat some surströmming. And then some cheating happened, and now we're both have to do it.
Because you could have made it realistic, couldn't you? Because let's be honest, we're not that big on TikTok. We do well, but normally we average between 700 to 1,000 views there and thereabouts. Depends on the subject matter. No, Chris and Lee decided they were going to push the luck. So how many views did you end up with, Chris?
Just a few, 10,000.
I'm not. The thing is, though, this is all on the TikTok that I run.
Yeah.
So the notifications that I was getting was out. Like, I didn't know what was happening because I didn't know what they were doing. I was like, oh, okay, this has picked up traction. But then it wasn't how they did it, how they ended up cheating, didn't only just affect their videos, it affected my videos. So my videos have got thousands of views on that they didn't need to have, that they probably would never have gotten if it wasn't for these two.
Yeah, so we do.
So I shouldn't be angry, really.
But they took what was supposed to be a pure and innocent competition and made it dirty. So
dirty.
To be fair, I didn't realise there was cheating going on first. At the start, I thought, "Oh, get in! Loads of people are watching this video of me." and then Lee was just like, "Oh, shall I let you in on a secret?" And it just brought us back down to earth.
Oh, so you genuinely thought people were watching you? Oh, Lee!
I thought, oh, I'm getting like 1,000 views. Yeah.
What you're saying is we should blame Lee.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Lee did
Give
his
Lee's not here.
punishment, and we saw the video
Yeah.
of Lee, which got me told off on TikTok because it involved Lee's carrot nipples.
Nipples.
But Chris didn't get wrong for his video. Chris put his up, and TikTok was getting, yeah, that's fine. Well, like,
Oh, I
you
haven't
can-
watched it yet. I wanted to wait until tonight, so I haven't seen
Oh no,
anything.
not that. Like
Oh.
the Bath Lee, he put his up on
Oh,
Top
right, I
Grums.
got you. I thought he put this one up.
No, he put it on Top Grums,
No,
and I
no.
put it on mine just for the crack. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But what I was really annoyed about, and again, this probably is down to my pig-headedness, why did you not tell us about this cheating thing when we were doing the heritage stuff? We would have
Because
looked
nobody
so
knew about it.
Because we would have looked so good if you'd gone to the heritage and said, look, these promo videos we're doing for you is getting 10,000 views. Look,
And you were on them.
Yep.
I know. Well, we didn't know about it then, but next
Yeah.
time.
Next time. Yes.
Next time.
So I'll play the video. So
Right,
again,
so
we
we've
can't
come
hear
into
it
the middle of nowhere, into the forest,
because
because
it's
it's
only
currently
for the
working at the
lovely
house and I don't want to be gagging
listeners.
and thrown up in
So
front of
go
them.
quiet.
So,
I should say as well, my pockets are quite full and my bum kept popping out
It's
of
coming.
me joggy bottoms.
challenge.
So I had to do some editing out.
It's a little bit
So
expanded.
it's very discreet
But
and
not
not
like-
noticeable.
properly.
Look at how professional. Yeah.
Right, open it.
That's just some advertisement for a video that's on YouTube. That's not a podcast.
Also, great representation of Hell on Shirts hoodie right there.
Well, we are looking for sponsors for Top Grumps.
You get Hell on Shirts, I will Hell on kill you.
So who was filming this?
Molly, you can hear her gagging soon. So
Taylor the sex there.
Could you not have opened this beforehand?
well, I didn't want to people think I was faking it, and I was in the middle of a forest.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no.
Mm.
Oh god.
Oh
I
can
no,
smell it
no,
through the
no.
screen.
Yeah. Oh, Chris. Oh, you've got a fork.
I wasn't touching all his fingers. He's a clever boy. Describe the smell, Chris. Describe the smell for us.
It was a mixture between the sewers, backed up sewers, and salty water.
Right. Oh.
Did you do it in one go?
No.
Nah, I just nibbled the end.
Oh, that was poor Sean. Is that all you did?
That's all I did.
Oh, if I was Lee, I'd be furious. Oh.
Oh. No.
So how much did that cost you for the tin?
Oh, it was like 35 quid. I had the company that imported
Right.
ringers on a Saturday morning saying, "Are you in?"
Right.
You paid that amount of money just to nibble the end.
No, I've cleaned
You
myself
should
up.
have smelt it.
Never doing that again.
No, I'm
Fucking
really
minging.
glad I didn't.
Kind of tasted like
It's genuinely
really salty
I can
water,
put up with most
like,
bad smells, but that
saltier
was
than
the
the
worst
sea.
thing I've ever smelled.
and
So would you say that's the worst
shit.
thing that you've ever had in your mouth?
anyway,
No,
Oh.
challenge
No.
done. Bye.
no, yeah, it was.
Right. So
Ugh.
so the
How do we come
audience
back from
can
that?
decide, because I do think Lee has been short-changed a little bit with that.
Remember when I thought I was getting views and my heart was broken a little bit? Take that
Right.
into account, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'll do in the Discord, for anyone that's watched, I'll do a little vote and say, do you think the punishment that Lee got to the punishment that Chris got was fair? Do you think it was balanced, or are we going to have to balance this out a little bit more there?
Are the scales in one way or the other?
Because the one thing I like to be in Nerdy Up North is fair
Mm.
and balanced and
That's
impartial.
true.
To be fair, didn't you say you were doing a
Oh,
to
I will
forfeit
be.
as well?
I will be. I've still got the thing.
What?
I don't know. We haven't decided this yet, but
Why are you getting roped in on a punishment? What'd you do?
because I cheated as well, though. To be fair, I helped. Well, as soon as I found out I was doing it, but I stopped at 2,000. But them two little idiots carried on.
Oh, hold on.
Mhm.
Is this what I know that you did?
No, I've got the other one
Oh.
that they don't know about as well.
Right.
Eh? What?
Because before you cheated, I paid for promotion for both of them to get it up as well.
Yeah. The thing is, though, you'd literally walked in while we were organising it.
So on the first day when Lee's shut up, I paid for him to get 1,000 views on that one.
Right.
And then everyone's getting, oh, this is going up. So I did it on yours the next day. I actually did process it. You know, when we were sitting in the quiz,
Yeah.
I was sitting on the table processing the payment for you right in front of your face.
That deserves a punishment, that, like.
But to be fair, it only cost us 20 quid, so it was fine.
20 quid worth spent.
Well, I spent 35 quid to put a rotten fish to me lips and nibble a bit.
And how much did the gravy cost, Lee? Because that was a tiny bit of gravy.
Yeah, that's a lot of gravy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Andy's plumbing.
Yeah.
And Bex's patience. And
And
Bex's
almost killed the
patience.
dog.
Jesus. What is it? What have we become? What has happened in 3 years that we have become this?
What is God was one.
Don't. I'll start singing it.
Oh,
The gravy was
saying that
17 quid. Sorry.
I would eat a 100-year-old egg, like.
Right.
What is your problem?
No,
what is wrong with you?
I couldn't do the egg. No, I couldn't do the egg.
If Lee's
But
doing
he-
it at the same time, we could each grab a end. Might be a brown egg.
God, it probably will be brown or black. Then.
Oh, do you know what's
fuck
gonna
off,
end up
Donna.
happening?
Donna, you can fuck off with a raw onion. I'll shove the raw onion up your ass. You're not getting that anywhere near me.
Nah.
Yeah,
Nah.
we'll think of
Oh.
something a punishment. I'll.
For all of yous.
Yeah.
All of yous deserve it now.
So-
Even Lee, for just doing it.
Right.
For even participating in the gravy bath.
Yeah.
You all three yous need punishing.
Should all get like a stupid tattoo or something. Oh yes, we'll come to that. So yes, do you want to do the disclaimer,
What?
Sammy? We're 15 minutes in. We haven't done the disclaimer.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us on the Facebook page. You can join us in the Discord, or you can join us in the comment section where we can have an open discussion. But what we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong, because we can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Yes. So
Yeah.
with that said, I do want to apologise because I think I've been a bit mean to Chris and Lee this week. You have wound us up. I'll say it, but I say you are not that much of an arsehole as normally, so I have been a bit of a dick to you. So I'll apologise. But today is not about Chris eating some rotten fish.
No, it's not.
It's not about Lee getting a bath of gravy.
No,
No.
it's not.
We're here to celebrate
Yeah.
one of the, again, I think this word gets thrown around too loosely when it comes to people, but I think you can't use this word enough. Iconic, legendary actors in cinema history, in just history, shall we say? Take cinema out of it, because this man that we are here to celebrate and enjoy has done it fucking all.
Oh, hasn't he just? From Shakespeare, from stand-up, movies, television. He's literally done the lot. I have been on such an emotional roller coaster with this man over the last few days. I'm kind of glad I left it, because I'm kind of glad I left it to the last few days to do this, because if I had this hanging on me for a week, I think I would have been broken by now.
It's a weird one, because when you think of the name Robin Williams, it instantly brings a smile to your face. You think of all the good things he's done, all the amazing movies, TV shows, plays, stand-up comedians. Even his interviews are gold. Literally,
Oh, yeah.
when I say this, I can't understand. The man was a complete treasure, and unfortunately, he's not around anymore.
Nope.
I think with a lot of things as well, which we are getting, well, as a human being, that sounds weird, we are getting better with mental health and trying to express ourselves and show it as well. I know he was going through a lot more, and it wasn't just about mental health, but the guy, this is where you've got to be careful. You don't know what people are going through
No.
behind closed doors and stuff, so you
No.
can't always assume. You can't always just be like expect and certain be, because like say when the world did lose Robin Williams, it was such a sad day, and I think rather than focusing on
Yeah.
him not being here, we should be
Yeah.
focusing on the gifts and things he left with us for the now.
100% agree. If you are interested in the lead up to his passing, there is a documentary called Robin's Wish, that you can get all the information on, because it's his wife who's doing the documentary, so it's first-hand experience of what was going on. And I'm going to leave that at that, because what Paul said is absolutely right. We don't need to focus on the passing. The man had so much more to talk about than that stage of his life. So yeah, that's a good thing to start with.
And I was so excited when we said we were going to do like an episode, because when me and Sammy was like talking about ideas, because we like to change things up. We've done loads of movie reviews, TV reviews. We've done a few episodes based on certain actors, but the first one that I think we both popped into our head and went Robin Williams. Yeah. That was like the one where like it was kind of like a synergy where we both almost said it at the same time as well.
Yeah, I want to put my own little personal disclaimer out here, something that I have learned for myself over the last few days. The reason what had actually come up when we were discussing this was Mrs. Doubtfire. And I just said, fuck no, I'm not doing, I don't like that film. I don't. And the last few days being in the world of Robin Williams, it's made us realize that my not liking that film means absolutely fuck all. Because what that man brings to that movie, to any movie he does, is something really, really special for someone else. And me sitting there saying, well, I don't want to do it because I don't like it. Like my opinion means shit in comparison to what other people's feelings are. And I take that all the way to my feelings on The Neverending Story.
Right.
I hate that film. I hate that film for so many reasons, so many personal reasons from growing up. But it means shit. It means nothing, because for somebody else, it could have such a deeper thing for them that who the fuck am I to sit there and say like shit all over it? So I have taken a personal lesson that I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to sit there and say, well, I don't fucking like this, and I'm not going to do that. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter, because someone will find something special because of that. I hope to God I'm making sense, because it really had hit me like a ton of bricks this week.
And that's why we've always like based the things that we've done on the things that we've loved, because we don't want to talk about the negative side. And that's the thing, taking the negativity out of nerdism, out of the internet, and taking that power away from people, where we can celebrate and enjoy. Well,
yeah, and I've always been quite good at not gatekeeping. Like I really am at that, but I do make my feelings known when it comes to something I don't like, and I don't want to do that anymore.
No, it's fine. It's a good place to be. So we said we'd take it a step back, because if we sat and just talked about every single Robin Williams movie,
we'd be here till tomorrow.
There's been a few, because
70 movies.
So we thought we'd do it a little bit old school. We're not going to do top fives, but we've each picked 3 movies. We've not told each other, even though fucking Chris keeps on trying to tell us and saying, oh, do you want to know my 3 picks?
You would have been so shit at top 5s. You really would have.
Yeah.
You would have known each and every one of them before we even started recording.
Oh, I've been sending screenshots of the Discord as well in some of the groups. Been like, oh, guess what I'm watching?
I'm really glad I haven't paid attention to you, because I was looking forward to knowing what like each. I'm interested to see where our minds went to when we think Robin Williams. What we're going to watch. So are we going to just say them?
Yeah. So I'll go first.
Okay.
I've went through like a bit of a journey. So I've went through like one of my first films I owned on VHS, earlier on, because I know VHS is when they came out. This is one of the ones I personally bought myself. I
Mhm.
went with Fern Gully.
Oh, okay. So we've
Mhm.
got voice work there,
Yeah, so I
right?
went for the voice workers. And again, I couldn't not talk about it. Now, like I say, I know we probably will do an episode about this at a later date by itself. Bangarang Hook. Yes. So again,
Yes.
one of
One
one
of
of
my
Sp-
favorites.
one of Spielberg's biggest flops, which is quite interesting.
Do you,
Yeah.
do you want to know a very interesting fact about the relationship between Steven Spielberg and Ron Williams? And bearing in mind, I don't have a great deal of facts to throw out in this episode. When he was recording Schindler's List,
Mm-hmm.
when he was filming it, Robin Williams used to ring him up every day just to
Right.
tell him a joke,
Right. Oh, bless him.
just to keep it, because obviously
Mm-hmm.
it's a very dark subject matter to be doing. And
Yeah.
he used to ring him every day just to tell him a joke, and they would that's all it'll be.
Yeah.
Ring up,
I've heard
joke done,
loads
phone
of
down.
stories about Robin Williams like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, didn't he do it for Sharon Osbourne when she was going through chemo as well?
Yeah, he also. Oh,
Yeah.
go on.
No,
Sorry.
I said he just did everything like
Yeah.
he actually threats like I know you're saying about Mrs. Doubtfire, like the kids on the set of Miss Doubtfire thought he was their father.
Yeah, well, the youngest one, she lost her mum
Right.
just before filming.
Mm-hmm.
And so he became kind of a little bit of a surrogate to her, because obviously with her being that young, she would have had her mum on set with her.
Yeah.
And she had done for other things, and he kind of became a bit of a surrogate to her.
Mm-hmm.
To where that relationship continued on.
Mm-hmm.
1 week after Christopher Reeves had his accident. Now, this blew my fucking mind, and I don't know why it did, but him and Christopher Reeves went to fucking Juilliard. Do you know how hard it is to get into Juilliard? It's harder to get into Juilliard than it is Harvard. So that just goes to show where he was even at that time. But 1 week after Christopher Reeves' accident, he went to go and visit him because they were best friends. Like the death of Christopher Reeves broke him. And he went in, and instead of being your friend, he went and found a doctor's outfit, started talking in a Russian accent, walked around with a surgical mask on so nobody could see who his face was. He made every single person in there laugh, including him.
Yeah.
And Christopher Reeves was like, and that's the reason I want to be here. It's because of him. He's honestly he's just got from the stories I've read, such a kind heart.
Yeah. It's interesting you said that, because the next one I've picked, it's probably one of the most difficult watched movies I've ever watched. Not because it's a bad movie, just because he's so fucking good in it.
Yeah.
1 Hour Photo.
Oh,
it is terrifying how scary he is in that movie.
Yeah.
I've not seen it, and I didn't purposely didn't put it on my list because I feel I've met that person when he did his episode of SVU.
Yeah.
It's the same person, it's the same character, it's the same kind of story. So I was like, I'm good to keep that side away for us for a bit.
But honestly, if you want to see like a real, I know it sounds weird, I would put this movie up there with Silence of the Lambs with the creep factor.
Ooh.
And he's blonde.
When was that made? By just out of curiosity.
It was made in 2002.
Right. Okay. I was just out of curiosity. I'm trying to gauge where he was by his hair color, because I remember when he did Whose Line Is It Anyway, and he was bleach blonde in that as well.
Well, he made 2 films around about the same time. This and Insomnia, where he plays a serial killer.
Oh, he went down the serious route that year, didn't he?
I don't know if it was the same year. It was around about the same time, but I remember because 1 Hour Photo come out of nowhere, and I know we're under it. And when you watch it, I know, like Chris mentioned it earlier, every single moment is like the direction in the movie is just breathtaking because it takes you on the trip.
Yeah.
And it is one of the most confusing movies at the same time because you are left not knowing what happened at the same time. There's a little bit of a thing because there's even like a Reddit of like, what do you think happened because of the whole how the movie plays out. It's very much almost like, you know, like the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, where you don't know what's real or what's his imagination. It's the same with Robin Williams because it's basically things happen and it's like, oh shit, it's like part of the movie, but no, part of his experience, and then it flashes back and he's in the car, and it's just like, oh,
Interesting.
it's like, is that in his head? Did that happen? It's honestly, it's Robin Williams is fucking terrifying.
Interesting.
Oh, well, I would say spoilers in this, by the way.
Yeah, if they haven't watched it by now, fuck them.
Yeah, then honestly,
Oh,
that's
right.
it's a them problem, not a us problem.
Yeah.
Is that what your pick? Is that what
That's
you?
my 3 picks. So
Right.
One Hour
I'm gonna
Photo,
go next.
Fern Gully, and Hook.
I'm gonna go next because I know that me and Chris may have one that's exactly the same, and I want to announce it first.
Ugh.
I only watched 2, but I've
Mhm.
watched a lot of his stand up. I've watched a lot of interviews with him, especially the ones on the Graham Norton show, which are some that is a stand up in itself when he is on that show. But
When
the
he's talking
first
about
movie,
Michael Jackson.
yeah. Yes, the first movie I watched, I chose 2 that I've never seen before and 2 that I've always wanted to watch. The first one being Good Morning Vietnam. I've never seen it before. This is my first time viewing it, and I wanted some. What I wanted was I wanted serious but with comedic undertones.
Mhm. And
And the
boy, do you
second-
get in that movie.
Do you just? It is so perfectly balanced, and I will get into it in a bit. But my second one, and this is the one that is going to stay with me for a very long time, is Dead Poet Society.
Right, that's one I couldn't remember. It was like My Captain, My Captain.
The whole thing behind My Captain has so much more gravity when you've watched the whole film, and it's nothing to do with the My Captain
Oh,
singing.
no,
It's
no,
what
no,
they are.
that's-
It's
yeah.
what they are doing.
Yeah.
Had to try and explain this to Anth earlier, and the meaning of it. But yeah, this one's going to stay with me for a really long time. Even though Robin Williams is not actually in the movie that
No.
a lot, it's the impact. So I went for serious with comedic undertones and something that because he's very good and has played a lot of characters that are real life people. Both are real life people.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Yeah, both are. Good Morning Vietnam and Dead Poet Society. So that was they were the ones that I picked. Go on then, Chris.
So what was your third though? Because even if you haven't watched them, you'll have a third Robin Williams film.
Oh.
Put you in your spot now.
Oh. Oh.
I'm just saying this now as well. We've got no doublers so far.
So far? Oh, I thought
So
we
far.
might have. Okay. I chuck this one at the ring. Jumanji.
No doublers?
Yes.
Jumanji.
Yes.
Because, yeah.
Alan Parrish.
I think that movie's like kind of etched in everyone's brain that even if I didn't watch it recently, I could replay it over in my head right now.
Absolutely breathtaking performance, but like the thing that stands up for that is the special effects they use. It like for the time was it was as good as Lord of the Rings in special effects in my opinion. But just saying that.
Nope, totally agree. But go on, Chris. What are yours?
Right. So I originally was going to choose ones that I don't think yous would choose, but then I thought, stuff it. It's my favorite ones.
Yeah.
So for my first one is my first introduction. It's Aladdin. Everybody plays a genie.
Sorry.
Yeah. Basically, I just remember watching it as a kid. I think it might have been my first introduction to him.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I'm a bit younger than yous.
Fuck off.
But yeah, anyway, I've put some. I know you only want to focus on the positives as well, but I've put some questions in them.
Right.
Like, yous have all seen Aladdin, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do
The
you
game
think
was
the
hard.
genie gave it? Yeah, I love the game actually.
The game
Do you
was
think
hard.
the genie gave him 3 wishes or 2?
So
Because at the start, he does rescue him from the cave, and the genie counts that as a wish, but Aladdin says, "I didn't say that officially. It was a wish." So I think he still owed a wish.
He still owed a wish, right? We'll have to get the nerds on that there. To see
Yeah,
if Aladdin
people in
had
the
been cheated. But to be honest, so he wanted to be rich and famous.
wanted-
Yeah, and
He
then
wanted
he
to get the girl, and then he set
that
him
was
free.
it was to be rich and famous to get Jasmine, wasn't it? And then it was to the third one or second one was to get rid of Jafar.
But then he set
Oh, no.
Genie
He
free.
freed
He
him.
set the 3
He
genie.
freed
That was
him?
his third wish.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
freedom.
Ignore what I was saying.
Have you
No,
watched the
no,
movie, Chris?
Oh, bless you, Chris.
Oh,
No.
Wait, what's the other ones?
right. So my second film is
Mhm.
I wanted a serious one, so I've picked The Bicentennial Man.
Right. So Pinocchio.
Mate, did you think it was Pinocchio
It's about a man.
becoming a real boy?
Yeah, that was basically the
See,
premise behind it. I think.
I saw it more as like a relative today because it's kind of like someone not comfortable in their own skin and then transitioning
Ah,
into a real person
person.
that they wanted to
Real
be.
life
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I kind of saw it as a
Mhm.
coming out kind of thing,
Yeah.
and
Right.
also he marries his owner's great 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 granddaughter, which was weird.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Um,
Okay.
That's it. Cool. Interesting.
and my third one, which I thought was kind of relevant to me because I'm at the doctors all the time. I deal with a lot of healthcare professionals. Was Patch Adams,
Right.
which
All
is
right.
Oh,
based on a true story,
Yeah.
yeah.
and it's more about treating the person
Mhm.
as a whole, including the illness, including the disease, bit of bedside manner, bit of
Yeah,
personality,
taking
which,
their mental health into consideration, just as opposed to the actual health,
Mhm.
like physical
yeah,
health problem that they have. Binks, not a chance.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
Binks likes your choices there, Chris. You'll see.
Sorry, Binks is trying to climb on the camera. No.
but I heard the actual Patch Adams hates the film.
Really?
The guy
Yeah,
who he played in Good Morning Vietnam said it was 45% truth. Robin Williams just it wasn't him
Yeah.
kind of thing. But at
yeah,
the same time, Robin Williams is known for not keeping to the script.
Yeah.
He 90% of his movies are improvised,
Mhm.
and never one line is ever the same.
No, that's cool.
mhm,
So there is thousands and thousands of jokes
Mhm.
missing from Good Morning Vietnam because of the amount of takes that he did it different every time.
Yeah.
But he has to bring himself
Mhm.
into the role. It can't just be a case of mimicking
No.
that person.
yeah,
Yeah, I think all his performances it has hints of like Robin in there type thing. I know, like going back to like Chris's first pick. What a film though. Let's spend a little time with Aladdin because a lot of people first experience of Robin Williams is going to be this movie, and you don't
Mm,
necessarily see his face, but God, you feel him through this movie as well. Because this
yeah.
movie, and that sounds really bad because it is an age-old story, and we've had the Will Smith version, which people do like, but again,
I didn't mind it.
yeah, it's still felt like it was missing something, and that what it was missing was Robin Williams. He embodied that role like no other, and like you fall in love with that genie just because of how he is, and like the songs and the things like A Friend Like Me, like I dare anyone not to like say want a friend like that genie.
And
yeah,
not to sing the song.
Yeah.
That's the difficult part. Will Smith had a hard job doing the genie because he was never ever going to match up to the gravitas that was Robin Williams in that film. It was never ever going to happen for him. He did do a pretty damn good job of being just Will Smith
Mhm.
and just, bringing his charm and not even trying
Mhm.
to, overdo it.
Mhm.
But again, there is thousands upon thousands of jokes from Aladdin that is sitting on a cutting room floor because he improvised the lot of it.
yeah.
I was watching behind the scenes today of when he was recording that, and his eyes are on fire. He looks like he looks scatty as anything, but he looks like he's having the best time.
So did you see this at the pictures or did you see it on VHS though, Chris?
Pictures.
Pictures, so you got to see it on the
Yeah,
big screen first
yeah,
experiences.
yeah. I loved out the pictures.
Hmm.
But he does just steal every scene. I like as soon as I think of Aladdin, I think of the genie. I don't think of Aladdin or
No.
what's he called? The guy that voices the parrot.
um,
Um,
Oh,
oh
Gilbert
Christ.
Godfrey.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Give-
He was the guy with the problem child and stuff like that, wasn't it? Yeah.
He,
Yeah,
yeah, do you
because
know
he's
what? Just for a second on Gilbert Godfrey, did you know he has or had one of the best podcasts until he passed away. He is a massive monster fan. When we
Yeah.
did a few episodes of the Universal Monsters, I used his podcast for reference because of how his knowledge on Universal Monsters was ridiculous. Sorry. Rest in peace, Gilbert Godfrey, because oh my god, that man is amazing.
That's fine.
Did he just, like,
Shall I get the monsters
fanboy?
plug in there? It's fine.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, I can still remember because I think, and that sounds weird. This is going to make me sound so fucking old, so I do apologize. I see Aladdin as new Disney.
Yeah, same here.
Which is weird to say because like when I grew up, like we got like the old videotapes because Disney was very clever back in the day. They would release the movie for 6 months at a time, so you would get a cinema release. Then 6 months after, or a year after, you would get the video release, and you would only be released for 6 months. Then it would be discontinued, and then a few years later, you would get it again on cinema. And they used to do this cycle, and he used to build the anticipation. So that wasn't a Rocky Horror reference. Sorry. He used to build that up. So you, like the Disney movies of old, used to always want to be. And when they stopped bringing out the new ones, so like you had Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, and Aladdin. For me, them ones still feel because we growing up, we got to experience them for the first time of the show in the cinema like anyone else. So it wasn't like a rerun or like a second viewing. So even though that was probably 30, 35 years ago, it still feels like I still consider Aladdin as new Disney.
I do. I do as well for that very reason. My dad tells me that the first movie I ever went to see at the cinema was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Right.
And likes to be funny and say, was it not the original release when I saw it? But it wasn't. It was on one of those crusades where they were doing the cinema run, and then they'd release it on VHS, and then it would be gone forever. So I do class this Aladdin up to about Hercules.
Hercules, yeah.
As kind of new Disney.
Yeah.
But for that very reason, oh god, my age just hit me like a thunderbolt right there.
You're not 42 next week, so it's fine.
I'm 41, dear. I'm not that far behind you.
One thing I do love about Aladdin, because the character of the genie could have been very one note, but when you watch it through the movie, he takes you through all the highs and the lows, and you follow him through that emotion. And I dare anyone not to get emotional and tear up a little bit when Aladdin does his last wish. And it was his last wish, Chris. Sorry to throw you under the bus there.
His second wish.
I'm happy that you thought about it though, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh well, I had another thought about it as well. It's because this film is set in, I've got this written down, 15th century in Middle East somewhere. Do you think the genie's from the future because he knows what a car is because he turns a boo into a car? And there's what is it? All of the pop culture references, or do you think it's just a cartoon?
He's a being out of time. He lives in the now, the past, and the future. He is everything. He is omnipotent.
God, I was hoping.
Or is he just a cartoon?
He is a real being. I am not having this.
Damn you, Christian! You're breaking the fantasy here.
Why are you taking away my Disney fetish? Are gone now. But yeah.
the new Disney.
The magic's left. It's over.
But yeah.
Chris ruined it.
No, probably his answer is it's a cartoon. But I like to think if the genie was real, he's not like he's in an existence outside of time.
Yeah.
Little lamp.
Yep.
Lamp.
It's like the TARDIS. Once you go in, you can go everywhere. But it seemed to go just London and Cardiff.
I get very angry with Aladdin when he's a dick to him. Yeah. And it's like, hang on a minute, street rat. Like, know your place. Know your place.
Sammy showed us true colours here. But to give a little bit of a defence to Aladdin as well. See, you grew up with nothing. You had absolutely nothing. And then suddenly you had the power to have everything. You are going to be a little bit of a dick. Like if you were Sammy from the street, and you were given like Sammy from the street, and you were given the power to basically to have the most successful horror podcast that has ever been, have every single guest on, you would become a bitch.
Do you really think that?
I
don't think I would.
I would be an ego. I would, even for a split second, because like I say, you gave Aladdin 5 minutes of being thing. All of us have that in us to be a dick for at least 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll give you that 5 minutes. The thing is, I'm too much of a baby that me being mean, I'll then go into like years and years of spiraling for that 5 minutes of being mean. So is it worth it for me? I don't know. Sammy from the street, yeah, I like it.
I'm still Sammy from the block. Yeah. Well, like I say, I like that thing. I liked Aladdin. I was glad Aladdin came up because I think it is one of like one of the more iconic. And again, if someone was saying I've not seen anything about Robin Williams, it would be in the top 3 or even top 5 movies you would show someone to represent what like the talent that Robin Williams had. So
yeah, absolutely.
Also, have you seen how much Aladdin lore there is now?
What?
Obviously, there's been a lot more films and series and stuff like that since the what was it, 97 or something film?
So there was Return of Jafar, there was The King of Thieves.
Return of Jafar's really good.
Yeah,
Even
it was
past
one of the
then.
best sequels,
Mm-hmm.
Like it tells you how Abu and Aladdin meet. Abu was part of a gang of circus monkeys that were thieves.
Well, you've really went into a deep dive here, haven't you, Chris?
Chris, I want to make sure
page.
that all your notes are covered. So if you got more on Aladdin law,
There's a wish thing, time thing. Robin steals every scene. Gilbert Gottfried, Monkey Gang, and then I've just wrote Genie, you're free.
Genie, you're free. So
oh,
we'll end the Aladdin talk with just saying, Genie, you're free.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes.
I'm going to check out another interesting fact for you because I really want to shut my laptop down because I don't want to keep staring at it. After he won the Academy Award for Good Will Hunting, he rang his German counterpart, who does the dubbing voice for the German film, and said, "Thank you for making me famous in Germany."
Oh.
Isn't that so sweet? This is so sweet. And the last thing, because I really do want to close my laptop down. Did anyone ever used to watch James Lipton, where he would sit with the university kids who were all actors, directors, and he would have famous actors and whatnot come on, and he always asked them a series of questions? Did anyone ever used to watch that? No, not him. But the last question he would always ask is, when you die and you're standing at the pearly gates, what would you like to, who would you like, or what would you like to see once them gates open? Or what would you like God to say to you when you arrive in heaven? That was one of the last questions he had, and Williams answered, "There is a seat in the front in the concert of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and Elvis Presley."
Right.
And that's it. And I really, really hope he got it.
To be fair,
really hope.
Like I say, with talent-wise, and again, I know a lot of people would say it as well. I can't see anyone having more, than Robin Williams.
He's the range of the man is ridiculous. If you look at his filmography, it is absolutely ridiculous. To the most bizarre movies like Flubber and Toys, which I actually loved growing up, by the way. Thought it was so weird. And nah, not really. Do you know the one I should have watched, and I'm kind of upset that I haven't now, was Good Will Hunting. Kind of gutted that I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I wish it was one that I had on my list, but I really wanted to watch Good Morning Vietnam because I'd never seen it, and Dead Poets Society.
Interesting. Like I say, I remember seeing Dead Poets Society when I was younger, so that's a good segue, Sammy. So we'll move on to your pick of Good Will Hunting. So why did you go with? Was this because you just wanted to watch it, experience it type thing?
Dead Poet Society.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've always known the scene, my captain at the end. And it's
yeah.
always been it's iconic, and it's one of those ones where you're like, oh, what a moving tribute to a teacher, that's so sweet. Oh, it is so much more than that. So Robin Williams plays a English teacher who goes to he's actually old school. It's a boarding school. And at the time, Hollywood really liked boarding school films.
Then Columbine couldn't kill that with
Yeah. And this is a very very strict school of excellence. Nothing more than excellence enters into this school. And you meet a bunch of students who they have a friendship group, but it's not fully cemented until they meet their new English teacher, who literally, they are so for everyone else and pleasing everyone else and making sure that they look at the world through just one lens. And he teaches them through many techniques, one of them being the standing on the table, of looking at the world completely different. And Ethan Hawke, when it comes to him standing on the table, he hesitates because he's always hesitates. He's terrified of his own shadow. And that's why at the end, when he stands up on the table, it means so much more than him just saying my captain, because that's what he makes them call it. He won't reply to anything else than other than my captain. He makes poetry interesting for them. And what they find out through his like yearbook kind of thing is that he was part of what was called the Dead Poet Society. And it was a group of people who used to meet to discuss poetry, and they took that upon themselves, and they created this group of the Dead Poet Society themselves, and they would recite poetry. They would make it fun and interesting, to where they started to express themselves a bit more. The main guy who we kind of follow, who's under very strict parentage from Kirkwood Smith. Am I saying his name right? Red from the 70s Show?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I can't remember his name, but I know what you mean. Yeah, so
yeah, well,
he was Clarence in RoboCop.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's his father, and his father's incredibly strict on him. When he went to the premiere, he watched a child and his father having a very difficult conversation outside of the premiere, and when they left, he saw that father cry.
Yeah.
Because he knew the impact. Because I'm going to spoil this for everyone. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. So the main guy who is going through a lot of tension with his father. His father is pretty much just controlling his life. Yeah. You are going to this school, you are going to here, you're going to Harvard, and you're going to be a doctor. And he doesn't want that. He wants to be an actor.
Yeah. And
he gets into a stage play, and he defies his I can't say it. Kirkwood Smith, thank you, Lee. He goes against his father's wishes, and he does the play anyway. His father drags him out the school and tells him he's going 10 years of military school, and then you'll go to Harvard, and then you'll become a doctor. That is more time at school. That is more time of him being repressed, of him not being able to express himself. And he's found a gateway into being the person he wants to be, not what his father wants to be. It's all too much for him that the idea of taking his own life is more appealing than fighting his father on this, and that's what he does, and it is fucking heartbreaking. It's Kirkwood's response to it. You don't hear the bullet go off because he puts something over it, but he hears it. He recognizes the noise, and when he finds him, it's my son. Oh, my son! I can't believe it, my son. And his mother's like, oh, everything's okay. The school can't just take responsibility or put it onto the actual person that should be blamed for him making this decision. They put it on the English teacher.
Yeah.
And they make all the students sign a piece of paper to say it was him. He did it. And this is the whole my captain. He tells them the truth. We didn't want to do it. And that standing up on the table, like, it's a good job I hadn't a shopping delivery coming because I would have been an absolute wreck. I wanted to get everything out because I just want it out of my brain right now.
It's such an important movie as well, because it shows you the importance of positivity, or having someone that can stimulate or get you let's not to be rude, but get the juices flowing, and
To
a
make
lot,
you think outside of the box,
yeah,
to make you look at the world in a completely different way. It is not black and white. It is
no,
blue. It is green. It is yellow. There are so many colors out there, and that's what he did. The reason he took this role on was because he loved this character so much.
hmm
He wished he had someone like that when he was growing up.
yeah,
So to put that on film and for somebody else to take on, also it would have been a very different film. This movie has been in production for a very long time, and it was gonna be Liam Neeson,
right. I'm gonna find you.
Whoa.
and I'm gonna kill you. Yeah,
He was a teacher though, wasn't he?
he
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
In
it's
Ireland or
yeah.
somewhere
yes,
up
he's
here?
Irish.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been a very different film. But the minute Robin Williams saw the director's name,
Mhm.
he said it's his favorite film he's ever done, with his
Yeah.
most favorite director that he's ever done. It was a working collaboration that is far beyond
Mhm.
scripts and such. It was a team effort from everybody who was in that movie.
It's one of those movies where I know it sounds strange. You've got to experience it. You've got to go through it. It's all about like coming of age. And again,
Mm-hmm.
especially, and again, it's not a gender thing. It's like could be for male, female, like anyone
It doesn't matter.
who's scared to express themselves, or as you
Mm-hmm.
said, like Ethan Hawke's character, um, hesitant or
Mm-hmm.
scared to do it. Like we all do it on, like, maybe not on a daily basis, but we all get things come to us, or like opportunities or questions asked where you take a second. You might take a second. You might take a minute. You might even take longer. Everyone hesitates, but it's then
Yeah.
no one, like, to have that bravery or energy to kind of go, no, I'm not going to let this kind of opportunity or thing pass you by. And that's where this movie can kind of help in them type of
Yeah.
situations. Not to give you confidence to make stupid or rash decisions, but to know that you can think outside the box. You can be a little brave at times, and it's okay to fail.
Yeah,
That,
and yeah, that was another thing.
mhm,
The failure side of it. There was every person that was in there, and you're right. It's not conformed to gender.
mhm,
This could apply to absolutely anyone. It is more to do with the lessons that he's teaching
mhm,
and his teaching style. This is when I said serious with comedic undertones. This is very loose comedic undertones.
yeah,
But when they're there, especially when he's doing Shakespeare, Robin Williams knows Shakespeare like the back of his hand. He is a thespian actor. But when he is doing them in Al
mhm,
Pacino, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like he's doing different accents
mhm,
for Shakespeare. It's like it's such a light-hearted moment, but really shows
mhm,
his true. It shows his intelligence more than anything else. Like just
mhm.
how he can still recite Shakespeare while doing it in a funny accent. Like
No, definitely. And I think that's where this movie needs it as well, because it's such a serious talking point and serious matter as well. If it didn't have them like little bits of kind of comedy elements to break it up,
yeah,
this would be a
and
very serious, different tone movie.
oh, absolutely, and you fall so hard for the group of kids that you
Mm-hmm.
follow. You really do. You have so much empathy and sympathy for them all because you're like, oh, and the ginger kid who fucks it all up,
Mm-hmm. But
who
that,
tells them that the Dead Poor Society and who they are, and
yeah,
he wants to pin it on the English teacher, and when he
mm-hmm.
gets a smack on the face, oh, is that satisfying?
But but that's the thing, because I know, as cheesy it is, where this film works so well, you can see yourself, like, if you look back, you see
Yeah,
yourself in that type of role, or, and again, it's almost like you want that type of experience or that type of element as well. So that's always
yeah,
interesting.
but it's gonna sit with us heavy for a bit. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
lie. It's something that's kind of like left an impression on us,
Mm-hmm.
and it only happens every so often. But this is one of them. I thought Good Morning Vietnam was gonna do that,
No,
but not quite as hard as this one.
no, definitely.
So I'm glad to get it out of my brain now.
I take it by Chris's silence, he's not seen this one.
I have, but it was years and years. I vaguely remember that slap though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah,
he literally launches across the room to do it as well. Like they're
Mhm.
nowhere near
yeah.
each other, and the ferocity behind it.
Mhm.
Oh, it was
I,
so satisfying.
I genuinely think I was just too young to really understand it when I watched it.
Yeah, no, I
So
get that.
I say I have seen it, but it's been that long since I didn't really come away with that thought or that feeling
Sorry, Molly
because
will
I
get
didn't
you to watch
understand
it. Molly said it was one of her favourite films, so you've got to watch it now.
It's on
She's
Disney
just
Plus.
well, she's got that I didn't pick Hook because she's named after one of the characters because
Oh.
of her middle name's Wendy.
Oh, sure, darling.
Oh,
yes.
Wendy, darling.
I'm not going to talk about that one. I'm going to bring the tone a little bit. I'm going to change the tone a little bit.
I think you should.
And again, this will either go really well or it's going to be a car crash here. I'm going to rap for yous, right?
It's in.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so this is where Lee starts getting the screen recording, I think. So the name is Betty. The logic is erratic. Potato in a jacket, toys in the attic. I rock and I ramble. My brain is scrambled. Rap like an animal, but I'm a mammal. I've been brain fried, electrified, infectified, injectified, disinfectified, and fed pesticides. My face is cut up. My radio is shut up. Nurse, I need a checkup. That from the neck up, I'm Betty.
Yo.
Down with the kids and everything. Yeah.
Oh, you really aren't, but well done.
So yeah, I watched.
Did you cheat and just play a clip of that film there?
Yeah, possibly it was like live action, wasn't it? But yeah, so I remember this as a kid. Not when it was like one of those films where I used to tell people about, and nobody used to know what I was talking about. People just go, "What the hell are you making this up?" Basically, this is the movie that so many movies have ripped off from in the past. Like, what's that film? What James Cameron did? What's it called?
Avatar.
This is basically what Avatar ripped off in essence. Fern Gully, the last rainforest, where man comes in and destroys the rainforest. And Sammy's looking like she's never seen it.
I have.
You have seen it?
I
Oh,
have.
yes.
I have seen it. It is one that would be played at my grandfather's house. I just can't remember it. It's like not Fern, no, the other one with the mouse. What's the mouse called?
American Tail.
Yeah, I've seen that, but I can't remember any of it.
No,
I remember that fucking song.
There. Just to name a few that, like, because people like Robin Williams is playing basically a bat that's been basically mutilated and tested by humans, because humans are the horrible in the rainforest. There's some of the voice actors in this movie, and this isn't Disney. This was I've forgotten who did it, but it was one of the ones that did like All Dogs Go to Heaven, American Tail, The Land Before Time. It was the same
all the movies I crushed as a kid.
There. But yeah, so Robin Williams is the bat. Tim Curry is the bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Christian Slater is one of the characters. Cheech Moran is one of the characters as well. So the premise of this movie is, as I said, fairies of the forest looking after, and there's a bad tree that's encased this basically pollution. Tim Curry's character, like this horrible toxic thing, has been put in this tree as to save the rainforest, because all he wants to do is kill the earth and destroy thing. And man is this thing of legends that's supposed to have died out because they don't come into the rainforest. And this little fairy called Crystal, Krista is basically a fairy in training. So she's making all these mistakes. So she's been brought up to basically lead the rainforest and create it. And first of all, she bumps into Batty Koda, Robbie Williams' character is. And similar to the genie, every scene he's in is just magic. It's brilliant. He's like, the only thing I can describe is imagine Robin Williams on cocaine pretending to be a bat. That's pretty the energy levels that we've got all the way through this movie. It's again, it is a bit preachy at times that man are destroying the rainforest, and as they do, they destroy the tree, and then the pollution. Tim Curry starts oozing out and loving all this noxious gas that this vehicle
Nice.
is being. But yeah, it's not a film that we can spend too much on talking about, but it's just so fucking fun. And if you think Avatar was enjoyable, this movie is so much better than Avatar.
No, I did not think Avatar was enjoyable. I'm probably the only person who doesn't like that movie very much. I don't get the hype. I
Yeah.
get the technology. I get like the making of it and everything. I understand the gravity of that, but am I gonna watch it again? I'm a shit. Would I watch Robin Williams play a bat? Yes, I would.
Yes.
I remember it as a kid. I do remember it. I just can't remember the movie.
No, it's one of them things where people always think it sounds familiar. Now this came out in 1992, so again.
So this is before Aladdin.
Yep, this was before. This was one of his first voice acting roles. I think
Was
he did.
2.
Was 2.
What?
I was 2.
You were 2.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen this movie though, Chris? Is that a no?
I have. I've seen it. I remember Tim Curry as the Ooze. I didn't know who Tim Curry was back then, but I enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And did you enjoy the bat rap as well, though?
I did. I thought it was better than the film.
Oh,
I might have to get that sound and then overdub it over the actual scene.
Possibly.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Because he did that for one of mine as well, so that'd be so cool. But I did know who Tim Curry was, but for all the wrong reasons. Because I grew up with a family who thought it was perfectly okay at a young age for me to watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show and then go and see it live as well, countless amount of times.
I've heard that that's amazing, but I've still not seen it yet.
No.
Rocky Horror.
That's, oh my gosh, you're like the best person. I mean, I thought I was watching like classics that haven't like, but that's something to say that you can like watch that with fresh eyes.
I mean, I know about the like anticipation and stuff like that. And I've seen people going out to the parties dressed up, and I'm thinking that looks like a good night.
It is. It's the best.
But I still haven't seen it.
No,
I don't know why.
But
it's an experience.
Just to anyone who's on TikTok or Instagram as well, one of Monsters Up North friends, Zara or Scary Zara Mary, she did 31 days of cosplay for Halloween. And she did Batty and she did the rap as well, but she mimed it. She didn't sing it, but she did it better.
Yeah. She did some brilliant, breathtaking work. Please, Scary Zara Mary is a friend of the Monsters Up North podcast, and she, oh my god, the creature. It's the creature cosplay.
Oh, I saw that one.
Isn't she amazing?
That's a lot of work. One a day.
Oh,
I think she's done it one a day, but she's done them all like what. Because she was doing things in her story where she said, there was a reason why I'm covered in blood today.
Yeah, when she was like covered in red or something, and she'd done the Hellraiser one. Oh, she's fantastic. But I had a feeling you were going to go down this route because you will do anything to talk about this film.
I just think
in a good way, like, and I'm not in a bad way, but in a good way, because you do love it.
Well, I think these style of films, like, they don't get the credit that they deserve because, like, in the 80s and the 90s, Disney was king. I know then, like, later on, DreamWorks and stuff started getting the big thing, but, like, movies like this, like A Land Before Time and American Tail, are classic movies that a lot of people either just don't talk about or even just go past. But Ferngully is up there as one of the best cartoon movies, like, say, especially leaving like an impression. But like, say, if you're not going to watch Ferngully, watch American Tail just for Fievel, Papa, Fievel.
You know, these are movies that are like, I don't think I could ever go back to because I don't have the emotional I don't have the emotional ability to be able to take on them again. True. We have Land Before Time on DVD and it's still sitting in the wrapping because I will not put myself through that along with All Dogs Go to Heaven. Like, I had to be physically removed from a cinema because of how hysterical I was over that film.
But, and again, why I love this movie as well, because we reviewed another film that, like, again, I'll link it together, but this is always strange. this movie always makes us think of the Great Outdoors with John Candy as well, just for one reason, because halfway through, there's a lot of singing in this movie. They go
Yeah.
na 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 na, and it sings at the end of Great Outdoors as well. So it always like links my two favorite movies together as well. So yes.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, how do we segue into one of Chris's?
Which other happy film
Ro-
did you?
End of the World and Robots. Bicentennial Man.
Yeah, pollution and how can we fix the world? Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of Bicentennial Man. I think it's
That's
very
fine. I
confusing.
know a lot of people aren't.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
it's
It's
very
it's a real
slow.
yeah
Mm.
yeah. It's one of them things. The first time I watched it, I watched it for about 5 minutes, and I thought, well, this is slow, this and that. Kept it on, just did other things in the background, and then I kept seeing myself going back to it and watching it. Like the odd thing will catch me attention, and then I just learned to love it. So yeah, I'd say it's worth a watch, but it is slow going. It's 2 hours long, 2 hours and 2 minutes or something. But it's based on a what's it called? Isaac Asimov novelette.
Yes.
It's a story about a family who buy a house robot, basically
As you
like
do.
what Elon Musk is flogging at the minute. Um, yeah, which is called Andrew Martin. And he starts to feel, and then eventually he wants to become human, and then he starts fighting for his right to be recognized as a human.
Wow.
I can say spoilers, can't I?
Yeah,
course
no,
you
it's fine. It
can.
was
Oh
very
yeah,
ahead of their time, especially like with the Dawns and stuff. And one
yeah.
thing Sammy will love about this, the practical effects in this is amazing, especially like the
Oh.
robot, like
Ooh.
Robert Williams.
Yeah, because he starts off, he's basically a metal man, and then he gets like upgrades every so often. So it's his owner, I can't remember what his name is now. When he starts to get conscious and starts thinking for himself, the owner's a bit like, this is a bit dodgy, this like bit too much like slavery. I'm gonna have to start paying him. But what's a robot who doesn't need to eat or sleep or anything going to spend his money on? So he just has a big bank account that he spends on upgrades for himself when technology advances. And eventually he gets to the
Right.
point where he gets skin, he gets sensory receptors in his skin, he can think better, process and stuff like that. But he has a mate who's like a robotics guy who does experimental research. He keeps funding his research with the money he's getting from being a babysitter,
Oh.
au pair thing. And eventually, after 200 years, he gets granted the what's it called? It's like the status of being a human being, and then he dies.
But no, because
But
I know it sounds a bit silly. Oh, he dies, but no,
How
that's
does
the
he
thing.
die?
basically, he makes kind of like a speech at the end where he's saying, I don't want to live forever as a robot because I would if I didn't have all these upgrades and stuff. I want to die as a human because that's what I feel that I am.
I've fought for the right to do this, so I
Yeah,
fight for the right to go on my terms.
yeah,
Oh, that is such a powerful message.
yeah. That's why in my head, in me 2024 head, I thought it was like a coming out kind of thing, is in like it can be have parallels to LGBTQ plus and race and stuff like that being recognized as an actual person, as
Oh,
opposed
especially
to
with the way things are right
yeah.
now. Yeah. Wow, that's really strong. And it's always been one that I've looked at, but I've, in all
I
honesty,
do.
up until, oh, go on, sorry.
I'd say I do have to warn you, it is a slow burner. Like you might
I'm
be playing on
fine
your
with that.
phone for
No,
yeah,
no, and I'm totally fine with that. I've come to appreciate that the time needs to be taken sometimes to get a story put across the way it was intended to. It doesn't need to be a rushed thing in order to say like get the point across. Talking about time and how long did he stay alive for?
200 years from when he was first switched on to when he died.
Do you know that you know the teacher in Dead Poets Society, the headmaster, the dick headmaster? Do you know how old he was when he died?
201.
He was 106.
Oh well.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy? I was like, I was reading his.
He's a robot. Are we saying that?
I was reading his biography, and it's like says he's definitely he fell asleep one night and just didn't wake up. And I went, I bet he was fucking pleased, like
I know.
106.
Yeah. But
You'd be
no,
like, why?
but yeah, 'cause I know we went all political last week with V for Vendetta, but it's quite an interesting day because I think the scary thing is now, and again, it's the world we live in. It is an important message that we need to get out there as well, because there's people in America that will be in the next few years fighting to be recognised for what they want to be seen or they believe they've seen, and yeah, and the thing with this as well, this could have been such a silly Robin Williams performance, and he plays it straight.
Which up until the point of this conversation, I thought it was. I thought it was just a comedy. I didn't think it had any serious like overtones through it at all.
No, that's why I didn't. That's probably why I didn't enjoy it as much, because I was going in thinking, "Oh, class Robin Williams playing a robot. This will be hilarious," and it's not funny.
Yeah.
Good.
It's not like Will Robinson.
I will kill you all. delete. But yeah.
Oh, it will be. It's something I'm going to go and pick up. I am definitely going to. There's a lot that from his list that I am going to go back. This is me in a nutshell. I appreciate people when they are no longer here.
Yeah.
I've done it so many times before, and he is just no different.
A lot of people say that about me.
I'm the lady
A lot of people say that about me.
Oh, but they appreciate when you're gone.
Yeah.
I did miss you when you left us at Manchester. I was like, oh, where's Chris?
So I'm going to segue into one of Sammy's picks now and say a line I've been dying to see since she picks this movie as well. And I'm not directing this at Chris, but I will be looking at Chris. You are in more dire need of a blowjob than any white man in history.
Thanks for noticing.
Good morning, Vietnam. Now that line, when I watched it as a kid, I laughed my tits off because it was one of the first dirty jokes I heard, like from watching a movie. Like I watched this when I was way too young because it was a Robin Williams film. I think it was on Channel 4, so I got to watch it, and I just pissed myself laughing at it just simply because of that line. And his delivery in that was just so venomous and hilarious, and it was kind of like because the guy who he directs to is the biggest penis in the history of cinema. Like he is the most annoying and most boring personality that shouldn't even be near a radio. But
there's
this movie,
there's two of them. Go on, sorry, what were you saying?
But this movie was so revolutionary at the time because it was very, because a lot of the time there was all the war movies that were coming out were based in Vietnam. Like you had Platoon, there was one with Michael J. Fox where it was showing the harsh realities. This was showing what, like, kind of the propaganda side of American side.
Yeah, yeah, massively. I admittedly at the beginning I wasn't feeling it. I don't know why. I don't know what was not sitting right with us, but halfway through something just clicked. This is a role that I have actually never seen Forrest Whitaker do before.
Yeah.
It was quite refreshing to see that. I've watched him in some very serious stuff of late, and Ant was like, "What have you seen with Forrest Whitaker in that's serious?" And I just went, Star Wars.
I knew.
I also watched the one where he played the butler in it was like a president's butler.
Right.
So I watched that one. So yeah, Star Wars was the first thing that came to my head. But just to see Forrest Whitaker being light and funny and I honestly put that down to the chemistry between him and Robin Williams.
Yeah.
It was infectious to where Forrest Whitaker could not have played it any different based on the deliveries that he was getting from Robin Williams. The lines in that are unbelievable. When he's talking to all of the soldiers, when they're trying to get him to come back, and it's like the realization of what he's doing it for. It's way beyond him. It's way beyond politics. It's way beyond propaganda. It's men. It's real men, human beings who are there, who need to laugh. And when he's sitting looking at them eye to eye, even though he's doing like an almost stand-up routine, there is something so heartfelt in the way that he talks to them, the way that he looks at them, how he makes them feel.
Yeah.
And that's when it really hit us of how impactful this movie is.
It's hugely impactful. It's so important as well because, and again, I know exactly what you mean why it wasn't sitting, because you probably went in with the mindset this is a Robin Williams comedy. You'll have seen all the highlights, shall we say, like the good
Yeah.
morning Vietnams, the yakety yak, don't talk back, like all the like little clips and funnies of this movie. So when you go in and fair enough, it starts off, you think, oh, this is going to be a laugh riot, but when it gets serious and when the dice is down, this is when, like say, Robin Williams' acting chops comes into it, because
Massively.
he flips from, like as I said, because if you put him in front of a radio and just said do what he did, he could have made a living off that, like just simply.
Oh, 100%.
But the humanity side and like him going out in the Vietcong, integrating with the locals, like, making friendships with the locals and getting friendship with this with the soldiers as well, and then realizing like he can't just start peddling the wheel and just not letting them get away with telling the wrong narrative, because we know with history, and again, not to be bleak or go into it, a lot of propaganda and narratives when it comes to history and war and stuff, the way they want to tell the stories isn't what it is, and they like to basically be, this is the good guy, this is the bad guy. It's not that black and white. And
it's not, no, not when it comes to the Vietnam War either. It's really not.
And showcasing and being brave as well, because the way they showed it as well, this could have got a lot of flack, like coming back from like America, because it doesn't like showcase America in a good light. But I think at the time there was, as I said, the movies like Platoon. There was like Born on the 4th of July with
Full Metal Jacket as
Full
well.
Metal Jacket, like all these type of movies that was shown impact. I would dare say, like, because all the others you remember for the violence and the brutality, this one for the words, for the language used, for the like that aspect.
Yeah,
that's where this is more powerful, because it doesn't come at you with a sledgehammer. It comes at you and it stays with you.
It attacks your funny bone and your heartstrings all at the same time. It's like two effects that you don't realize that could work in unison together. There's one moment where I had tears dropping was when they played Louis Armstrong, and in the background is explosions and the real life, what is actually going on outside the walls. It broke us a little bit. To be honest, there was quite a few moments in this that broke us. But that one was one of them. And I think because it stayed so long, it was the entirety of the song.
Yeah.
That you stayed with this montage of destruction and the real life of what's going on outside them doors.
And I know we talked about Robin Williams here, but can I just say the fucking soundtrack for this movie?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Oh, like, we've talked about soundtracks and movies, and I think we've overlooked this one.
Do you not think, though, with Vietnam War, like, movies, the
All
soundtracks
Vietnam
are
War
always really
films.
fucking good? Even, like, when Forrest Gump goes into Nam, the soundtrack, like, totally changes and picks up. It's just the music of the time.
But yeah, I would go back just to listen to the soundtrack to this one. But yeah, this is one, like, again, I left it off the list because I wanted to throw all the different shades. Otherwise, it would be like dark, and Ferngully.
No, and I get that. I just with mine, I wanted to watch something that I'd not seen, and I wanted to see a different side to him. I know the funny guy, I know the comedian, I know all that. I wanted to see what else he brings to the table, and if I had the time, Good Will Hunting would have been in there. But these two were definite. I had to watch them. I've been wanting to watch Good Morning Vietnam for years. It's one of those things where it's like,
you need a reason to do it. It's not one way you can say, I'm just going to watch a light-hearted watching.
That's my life at the moment. Like, I have to, that's my life at the minute, like having to watch films for a reason. Like, and to be honest, me 3 years ago to me now, is a totally different person. Like that list is getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Oh, I'm doing some good in
get
the
there one
world.
day,
Yay!
It took me 3 years, but you will get there.
I'll get you. It's not a cult of nerd. It's a cult of movies.
Mm,
So yeah.
it really is.
So
So
yes. So what you want to say? Sorry, gorgeous.
I've forgotten.
Oh, just because I
I've
said you're
forgotten.
gorgeous and I just went off your head there.
Yeah, and it just went. I was like, oh my gosh, compliments.
Thought you were talking to me there.
I wouldn't be surprised. But no, this was a powerful one, even though it's got some really hilarious moments in it. Like the friendships that he built, he's very good at making friendships with people very quickly. And the chemistry between them all as well was just, it was undeniable. It wasn't fake.
No.
But the guys who are, I love the big high up guy though, who at the end he's like, you know, I've covered for you before, I can't cover for you again, and he's like, God, that shit's funny. Like he was, and the fact that he was like, oh, he's taking the piss out of Nixon, and he's like, no fucking Nixon, and he's like this worst person in the world.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved him. The whole cast was absolutely. It's not just Robin Williams.
No.
He is one factor in a brilliant cast that work really well with him.
It's just like the guys from like Terminator 2, who play the security guard who do the order. Like,
yeah.
It's like how serious and like how he tries to crack them up. It's just everything in it is just, as I said, if you want to pitch and like see a performance and see impact and like say like of the time as well, I think very much that's thing. That's the film that it hits home. And again, if you wanted to experience what, like, again, because like everyone says, I was in Nam, I remember them days. But yeah, I think the one that kind of people, again, I wish I can't say it out of context, but I would think that one probably paints the Vietnam War in the more truest light, if that makes sense. It doesn't romanticize it. It doesn't make it say war is beautiful. It shows you like the nitty gritty and the nasty side of it.
I think that and Full Metal Jacket for me are my two eye openers of, because with Full Metal Jacket you get to see the war side of it, like the
effects,
conditions that the effect, the effects that they had in the training at the end, like the first part of it with Pyle and that, like that's some tough shit. Like that's some hard stuff to get your head around, and then you go into, which still blows my mind that that's him from Stranger Things. You should have seen the realization on my face, and I was like, shh.
Yeah.
So yeah, them two are kind of like my what I would. We're never going to understand it. No. We're never going to understand it. We're never going to be able to. We're never going to be able to live it. But I feel like these movies do them somewhat justice. Yeah, I feel like they do anyway, and that's just from a viewer.
And that's a good perspective to have. So I don't want you to send you to war, Sammy. I don't think you would.
Please don't. I really wouldn't. If the zombie apocalypse happened tomorrow, bye guys. It's been nice knowing you, because I ain't. Show me your war face. You'll get it one day.
War. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Say it again. Good God. So yes, moving on.
Where are we at? Oh, you.
Yes.
Oh.
So what I'm going to talk about now is probably the movie that, not the movie, probably the character that Robin Williams was born to play.
If I don't cry during this, it'll be a fucking miracle.
So to die would be a grand adventure. No, death is the only adventure you have left. So yes, I'm talking about the Peter Pan or Peter Banning growing up in Hook. One of Spielberg's biggest flops when it first came out, which I still don't understand. I think this movie was way ahead of its time. So clever, so interesting with everything that went on. But can you imagine anyone else playing the boy that grew up?
No. Or the boy who didn't want to grow up.
No.
That's
until you met someone, yes.
Yeah, well, Peter Pan is my favorite Disney movie of all time. I'm I'm not as big of a movie like Disney fan as my sister is, as if you want to go back and watch me and her have an argument over it. It's on YouTube. It's there for everyone to see. But Peter Pan is one of my all-time favorites, and this is something that is just incredibly special. This movie is so good. I can't see Dustin Hoffman
No.
playing. I can't see him. It's like for many years I couldn't see Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice. I can't see him. I can't see Dustin Hoffman. I never can.
No.
Never can. That's just a whole different person.
And as we found out tonight, it is like say Molly's middle name's named after Wendy. Then so she's is it from the character
She has
in this
the
movie?
most precious name ever.
I think so.
Yeah.
Molly Wendy.
But
Honestly, it's so precious.
Oh, bless her. But yeah.
It's better than her sister's middle name.
Go on.
Dimple.
Who's called Dimple? Is it?
She's not.
Have a word.
She's not called Dimple, really.
No.
Her middle name is.
Her middle name's Dimple.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, that's unusual.
It's horrible.
It's not horrible. That's the name she was given, but it's unusual. I think you're going to be a lot of trouble, mate.
It'd be all right.
But this movie
It's not recorded or anything.
Expose her, Chris. Molly's laughing.
But when you watch this film, though, like you can't help but be transported to like a land. Like I know you go to Never Land, but it's just fantasy. Everything that you want in a movie to take your mind off things, to take your escapes, and having Robin Williams at the start being a douchebag dad and just being a biggest arsehole and not even like nice or funny and stuff like that at all.
No, he was horrible. He was just not a nice man at all. So I was like, fuck off to Neverland. Go, just leave them alone. And obviously the late great Dame Maggie Smith is Wendy Darling. I mean, for fuck's sake. If there's honestly, I watched this probably last year. I sat and cried all the way through it, only because of how magical it is.
But have you heard, because I've got the cast list up here. Like, if we just go for like the cast that's there, Dustin Hoffman, Captain Hook, it shouldn't work, but it's just absolutely.
It fucking does.
It's just the best thing you've seen on screen. Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell, and supposedly she was an absolute arsehole on set, but again,
was she?
She wasn't meant to be that nice. We've got Bob Hoskins as Mr. Smee, who literally was born to play that role.
And if anything that Neil Marshall told us about him, he was probably a little sweetheart on set as well.
Now, these are going to be the surprising ones. Now, everyone always knows this one. Glenn Close was a pirate.
Yes. Uncredited, but she was the pirate.
Phil Collins was a police officer.
Knew that, yes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
He's the police officer where the investigators is basically saying, has your kid's just gone away?
Yeah. He has a proper, like, Cockney accent.
Oh, right. That's probably why I didn't.
Yeah. You know, one of the Wendy's, when it goes through the flashbacks, Gwyneth Paltrow was a Wendy.
You can... Peter!
Yeah.
Yes, I knew that.
So,
even though Lee has just put it in the chat as well, I did know that.
Is that the one that sells goop now?
Yeah, it smells vagina smelling
fanny
crystals.
candles.
Crystals and shit that have been proven that they are very dangerous for your body. So don't put the shit in it.
But,
Is it? Do you put them in yet?
Some of them you do.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I thought Denise Richards played Maggie Bannon, but it turns out it wasn't. It was just she looks a lot like a young Denise Richards.
It's Natasha Richardson, yeah. Who plays his wife?
His wife is Caroline Goodall. But it was Amber Scott who played the little Maggie. But I thought I thought it was Denise Richards. It looks like her, but I was just like I was mistaken.
She is actually one of those kids who I just think, please stop talking.
Now,
honestly, it's my one little gripe with this movie is that kid.
Now, this movie is just full of iconic scenes, and I know it sounds weird. You've got Robin Williams playing Peter Pan. This is probably one of his more understated roles. He plays this one very small. He doesn't really play it big because, like, say, as you said, Dustin Hoffman's Captain Hook is literally on fire, chewing the scenery. Like literally every time he's on screen, he is larger than life.
But let him munch away at that scenery because he is just fucking perfect.
But when we get Robin, like say, remembering his happy thought, and he turns into Peter Pan and loses about 6 stone, which is hilarious. But the basically banter and interplay between him and Dustin Hoffman, it's some like. I know people always go, "Oh, swordplay," like go to Errol Flynn and like the old like time of like pirate movies, or if you go to the newer ones, like go to Lord of the Rings and see like swordplay there. The sword fight between Captain Hook and Peter Pan, for me, is just breathtaking to watch. Like their flow and like the comments as well. Like good form, sir.
It's like a dance.
Yeah.
It's like such a perfect dance. There's one character, I don't know if you want to get to him yet, who is just.
I think you're going to. I know you're going to mention him, but
yeah, I just want to say his name.
Yeah, the other line that, because like say if I don't say it now, I think had me in stitches watching it. Like every time I watch it, it always makes us laugh. It's so simple and so well done. When Peter and Hook's fighting, he goes, I remember you being a lot taller. He goes, to a 10-year-old, I'm a giant. And it's just, the delivery is just perfect. But yeah, I'll let you say his name.
Rufio.
Yes.
I love that skunk-headed kid.
But again, his interaction with Robin Williams is just hilarious. Like the fake food fight.
Who did not want to be at that table? Who did not want to sit there and have that food?
And when the kid says to him, "You're doing it, Peter."
You're really doing it. Oh, that scene is so magical. I love that character so much. The look of him feels so fresh from what we've seen within Peter Pan's world before. The attitude on him, the fact that he has every right to be pissed off at Peter Pan. He fucked off and left them. So I totally get it.
The tones in this movie as well surprises me so much, because you think it's going to be light-hearted and fun, Peter Pan. There's kids getting like kidnapped. There's Captain Hook going to kill himself and talking about suicide, saying there's not much life worth living and stuff like that.
I love that though, where he's like, Smee, don't let me do this, Smee.
Smee, what are you doing? Get up, Smee. I'm going to do it. What are you doing, Smee?
The chemistry between them two, it shouldn't work. It really shouldn't.
I'm so disappointed that this movie didn't do as well, because I would have loved to have seen more of Dustin Hoffman. And again, you get the famous line as well. I know this is just like things I can't help saying. I even got that excited. I had a post in the Nerdy Up North group yesterday. What would the world be like without Captain Hook?
Really fucking sad. Really sad. Do you know, if I was is a kid called Kevin? If I was Kevin, I'd have jumped ship straight away. I'd be saying, "Greg, Captain Hook, come on, I'm with you." He had the coat, the velvet red coat, the feathers, the light. Yeah, I'm gonna be a pirate.
Would you like him pierced his ear with his hook though?
Hey, my grandmother did mine with a knitting needle. It's not that far off, so I'm good. I'm happy with that.
And to be fair though, I wish I could give Chris something, because he does remind us of a character. Chris reminds us of Toodles, because Chris has lost his marbles.
Toodles and his marbles. Oh yeah, I didn't want to be a lost boy. I didn't want to be part of the Lost Boys or anything. I wanted to be a pirate.
What would you have been, Chris? Would you have been a pirate or a Lost Boy?
Pirate all the way. Like, have more fun.
Yeah, didn't I?
Is that the merchant navy coming out of you there? Is it really?
Yeah, of course. Love being at sea.
Yeah, I want to be a pirate. But that's me. It's like a jump to power thing. What did I say when I was watching Walking Dead and Negan came in and he was like, "Join me or die"? Like, yep, that's fine. I'm with you. I'm Team Negan now. Like, I would jump to power just to save my own ass, because I know fine well I couldn't survive on my own.
Good to know. So when people take over the Nerdy Up North, like say Sammy goes with who's in charge, that's fine.
No, I do have some form of loyalty, but it's like life or death. Like I'm gonna try and save myself as best I can.
Cool.
I love the fact that you picked Hook. It is something that I really want to do later on, to where we can talk about it properly, like in depth, and because there's a lot of context in there. With the idea of growing up, the idea of being yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to do this in more detail at some point down the line.
And why they say London's a magical place for kids?
It really isn't. The
Very
northeast of
Oh.
England is, although we have a great children's hospital too. Just
Yes.
to say,
What, just in case it's not a great place for kids?
well, no, it's just that they're basing that on the
Great Ormond.
yeah, but we have a
Right.
really good children's hospital too. Just putting that out there.
Cool.
Anyways,
So Chris's last
Moving on.
pick.
I'm not a child, you know, Sammy. I go to regular hospitals now.
He goes
Do
to
ya?
big boy school.
I wasn't aiming that at you at
It's
all.
all right. Chris
I
is
know,
still,
I'm only take the mic.
Chris is still saw that you said you don't like small people, so it's fine.
When did
I
I ever
know.
say that? My mom is
All the
4'11".
time.
Why would I say that?
It did happen.
He messages every day just saying, I still hate you,
Chris, I
Chris.
do not say- Just imagine if I did. That would be awful.
Chris, have you grown anything today? Because I still hate you.
Yeah.
Oh no, like my mom is like 4'11". Like I do.
That makes
not
it
hate
worse.
small
She's
people.
still, she's still taller than Chris. It's fine.
Is she? Is she
No.
taller than you? No.
No,
How
I'm-
tall are you,
I'm
Chris?
5'4".
No, you're not.
I am? No, I'm 6 foot.
You wish. Oh
So-
no,
so
I've
moving
never
on to
said I hate
Chris's
tall
last pick
people.
before we get took down for bullying Chris.
No. Sorry, Mr.
You're
Top
bullied
Drums, you go
now.
next.
Well,
What was your
speaking
last
of
pick anyway?
Bruce Patch Adams.
Oh.
So it's a nice segue from hospitals to Patch Adams.
Yeah?
See, I'm on the ball today. I've got this one.
Oh, great segue.
How are we going to get to Jumanji
Yeah,
after this?
Oh, I'm gonna go through the yeah. So basically, this bloke Patch Adams, he self-admits himself to a psych ward because he's depressed
sad.
and, in his words, suicidal.
Mhm.
I know his words suicidal, but anyway, he goes there and it's shit. Everyone treats the patients like a machine, and there's no like empathy, no anything. So
Mhm.
basically, he connects with a couple of the patients, and he thinks, I kind of want to do this with my life, so he
Mhm.
does. It's getting into medical school's easy apparently.
Right.
And he falls in love with one of the only females that go to his university.
All right.
Uh,
Because
As you
there's
do.
not much choice, is there not?
well, there's a quote when I wrote it down. There's 8 females in that university,
It's okay.
but that would have been the demographic back then for doctors, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What time period are we looking at?
I don't know.
80s, I think. 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, 8.
Still, like it's still a progressive thing. Like in the
If it was set in the 50s, then it would have been 100% men.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm-
still, that's a good number for even in the 80s.
That she does basically say, I'm not here for flirting, I'm not here to meet people, I just want to learn, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can see in all of the classes, it is just white men
Mhm.
everywhere with thick
Mm,
glasses.
right.
But yeah, I've got a couple of notes about this film.
Okay.
I really want to go to a meat packer convention.
All right.
Have you seen this film?
No,
I've
but
not-
so
I've
do you
not-
wanna
this is one of the
explain
ones I've
yourself?
not watched there, to be fair.
Oh, well, this will make absolutely no sense
Right.
because they have a Miss Meat there.
Mhm.
But basically, Patch Adams, he's justifying to one of his mates who he's going to uni with that if you be more personable, people will like you more, and they'll be more open to telling you more things about themselves, like symptoms and blah blah blah. So he just finds himself at a meat packing convention, gets on well with everyone, and they award him with a meat packing coat, which looks like a lab coat.
All right.
And that's how he cons his way as a first year into the hospital to see patients.
All right.
So he starts doing that in med school, breaking all of the rules because you've got to be a year 3 to
Mhm.
actually
Right.
see patient and doctor contact, and then it's got to be supervised. And he goes to like the kids' chemo ward. He goes to like
Mhm.
troubled old fart patients that don't like nurses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he connects with them, cheers them up a bit, and he starts talking about how if you're happy, it releases endorphins, adrenaline, and kind of gives it a placebo effect as if you were feeling better.
Yeah.
And it's good for the patient, whereas they're all old school and they're like, nah, just give them drugs, mate. But I found out in researching this, the film actually worked closely with a lot of Make-A-Wish Foundation kids.
Right.
Oh
So
wow.
a lot of the children in the chemo ward
Mhm.
were actual cancer patients.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
that's amazing.
I know. There's loads of stuff. I'm sure I've read somewhere, I heard somewhere where Robin Williams has got it in his contract where you have to employ some homeless people
Yeah, he's
part
like
of the set.
he's always got like reaching out where he's either got some. It's like certain amount of people have to be employed from certain areas and stuff like that. So he's always trying to give back or help
That
out
is
where he can.
amazing.
Yeah, but basically it's Patch Adams personified in this
Mhm.
film. I think he is.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously talking about the Sharon Osbourne thing where he cheered her up, the Christopher Reeve as well.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So basically, he gets found out the old doctors aren't happy and they try to kick him out of university.
Mhm.
But through the connections that the friends that he've made, he goes to like a tribunal that eventually decides to let him graduate, and he starts his own free clinic
Mhm.
because he sees a lot of the patients that are knocked back
Mhm.
because they don't have health insurance or money. So he starts his own, and he gets around it by saying everyone that comes here is lodging with us.
Mhm.
They're not a patient, so I'm not giving away free
Mhm.
medical stuff, which I
They
suppose is
are, yeah, they're very clever at doing stuff like that, Americans. And honestly,
yeah.
It should never be the case that they need to do this, but
Mhm.
like Dallas Buyers Club,
Oh yeah.
the movie is amazing and very hard, but the idea of what he does is that he's selling a subscription
Mhm.
Vitamins or
and
something, isn't it?
yeah, selling a subscription to so it's not a case of he is actually handing drugs out to people that are
Mhm.
not
Hmm.
tested by the FDA. Um, it should never be the case,
No.
but it's very clever how they can think around of getting around the
Mhm.
system in order to be that help for people.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
remember when this came out, there was a lot of like, say, like, because I think, like, say, certain movies that Robin Williams does, that gets like the big push or the big buzz and stuff like that. This one, with it being a true story, didn't get like as much of a I think you saw the trailers and stuff, but I think a lot of people didn't see this movie till it hit like like Sky's cinema and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's a hard one. It's for a lot of people with certain aspects and certain situations because it hits home. But
Mm,
Hmm.
again, similar to what you have picked tonight, it's one with an important message. Like you
mhm.
treat the person, not the illness type thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough, you can give drugs or you can give procedures. I know my dad was telling us about his experience being in hospital last week, where during the day all the nurses were in Sunderland were amazing, couldn't do enough, and then on the night time there was one male nurse that just come round checking on them, and to see if he had a catheter in, he just pulled the wire on his catheter.
Oh.
So
No.
Oh.
my dad was like, "What you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I was just checking your catheters in."
Could have asked.
Yeah.
No.
Could have
so
Nah.
asked.
so my
Didn't
dad
need to pull on it.
yeah, so my dad wasn't very happy and he complained
Um,
about it. But again, bedside
I'm
manner is
surprised.
like such
It's
so important. Yeah.
it's everything. It makes the difference.
Difference between
Mhm.
the illness and the mental side of it.
Mhm.
Oh, I want to watch this, but I
Well,
I
it
thought
it
I'm watching too many things that are like serious, but I needed to see a different side of him, and I don't know if that's why Chris chose these ones as well.
Mhm.
kind of. I mean, like there is a lot of good light-hearted moments to this film.
Mhm.
Like he kind of like see all the old biddies in the ward and stuff, and he tries to like say, "Oh, what have you always wanted to do?" Like there was one woman, it must have been in the 90s or something, and she was just like, "Oh well, I remember as a kid, when my mum used to make spaghetti in the pan, she used to let us put my hand in and squeeze it or something like that. So I've always wanted to go in a swimming pool full of spaghetti. And he manages to do that for her.
Right.
And like they wheel her over in the wheelchair and they pick her up and put her in because she wasn't eating and she was like degrading fast.
Uh-huh.
And she kind of like, oh yeah, I need to get up and start eating and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
It's like stopping the patients giving up on themselves.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
and
half
the-
the problem, isn't it?
No,
Yeah,
definitely.
morale, the
Mhm.
importance of morale. There is I did have it written down, but I've been writing shite, so I can't read it. Where there is an actual way of thinking where you put a patient first or person first treatment,
Mhm.
and that's what Patch Adams in real life, his free clinic is based on. And they found that like you've got a higher staff retention rate, everyone's happier, you get more. I mean, he's been going for a long time, and he's not had a malpractice suit or anything like that.
In America,
Which
that's a
is
big
massive.
thing.
Yeah,
Speaks volumes, that.
yeah,
It speaks massive volumes, but it is just about there's so much more to taking care of someone than just like we've said previously, treating the illness. Sometimes there's nothing that can be done, but
Yeah.
with the kindness and
yeah.
consideration that you get from your care, it can make a world of difference.
No, definitely.
There is ones like that. But I just liked it because I picked it because I kind of wish that Robin Williams had a Patch Adams in the end
Yeah.
to tell him that it would have been okay for him to carry on
Mhm.
as he was, kind of like Bruce Willis is non-verbal at the minute.
Yeah.
Like if he gave up before that stage, I think would have been a massive loss as well.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, it's well,
And
Jumanji.
the end.
Yeah.
One more thing: the end credits. It's Faith of the Heart.
It's what?
It's the music that's played at the end. Faith of the Heart.
Oh, right. I was like, what about the heart? I don't think I can take much more after that.
So
Yeah.
I'll start the drums. Dum, dum.
I do have my jokes.
Good.
Can you hear that?
Did not.
No,
No.
Not coming through. Oh well. I was
No.
trying to play
can't hear that either.
it's the board game.
Jumanji.
Jumanji's coming now. Yeah.
I can just see it jiggling a little bit.
I don't have a great deal to say on this. I picked it because I basically was put on the spot and had to have a third one. And but
It's a great pick. It's a great
it's
pick.
it's a great movie. It's a great Sunday movie.
Yes.
It's a Sunday movie. You've just had your Sunday dinner. You chilling out in front of the telly. Oh, what Jumanji's on?
Yeah. And
One
it's
of
a
my
film you
family's
can
favourites.
pick up at any point. Like,
Oh,
you can watch it-
absolutely. You don't have to watch it from the beginning.
Watch it from the start, love. Pick up, oh, Jumanji's on, I'll watch it for the rest of them. It's
Yeah.
just fun. And again, there's a lot of serious films we've talked about, but this is just stupid fun. It's basically a real life board game that's spawned countless number of sequels now, and each one of them are still entertaining.
I don't mind the newest ones. I
No.
thought they were. I haven't seen the last one though. The first one I thought was absolutely brilliant. However, it doesn't take away from the magic of the first one.
No.
And the cinematic experience that you have every time you watch that, because it is just an assault on the eyes in the best way possible. You don't know where to look.
No.
Especially when the monkeys are on like the shopping place and you're like, well, where am I supposed to be at? I do love this film. It has a very special place in my family's heart as well. They love this one.
I think you've described it personally, like Sunday morning bank holiday like special. Just put it on. As you said,
That was on Channel 4, something called ITV.
it's weird like having this kind of experience because you've got Robin Williams as a man that lived in a jungle, that's come back, and again he plays a bit of a like an arsehole when he first comes back. He always
I'd be an although.
he's like,
What year is it?
he's like, where am I? Learning how to shave for the first time. All these different experiences he had to go through.
But I'd be a dick too if I'd been trapped in a bloody board game for the majority of my life, and then come back and it's like, well, fuck my life, fuck me.
But it's just like a man out of time as well, though. It's like
Oh, very much.
He's basically put him in a situation, in a place where he had no control of, and it's like the performance. What I love about it, because this is just silly, but it's just like when you learn about like the stuff that happens while he was away, like what happened to his dad, or when he goes to basically meet his girlfriend from years ago, and like the trauma that she'd been in, and then like coming back to the game, and then realizing that the hunter's there and the hunter's coming back, but everything in it is just pure entertainment. It's pure blockbuster, summer blockbuster fun.
Yeah. The best way to describe it is such a fun movie. We probably will do it at some point, but not
yeah,
today.
sorry to put you
I
on
might
the
make
spot
his-
there, but
Oh, that's fine.
I might make you angry at this, but I saw the series before I saw the film.
the cartoon.
It was a cartoon, yeah.
Yeah,
I watched the cartoon before the film.
The cartoon was good. It was really good. It was like
I didn't know there was a cartoon.
Yeah, it was like in the
Yeah, it's
style of like
good.
the Wild Thornberrys type thing.
All right.
Like the animation was shit, but it was just like basically what Robin Williams was up to in Jumanji.
Oh.
So it was quite fun, but yeah.
Oh, I'm not, sorry, I'm just reading Molly's comment. Jumanji scared me as a kid when the floor turns into quicksand, and yeah, quicksand. Yeah, that's the thing that used to freak me out. I think we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, it's gonna
about
freak you out when we
quicksand.
do Never Ending Story.
It's an hour. It's just an hour. And what did I say? I'm
Sorry,
not going to shit on things.
Chris is on that with us as well. So
Oh,
Are you
I'm on that.
really?
yeah,
Yeah, I am.
Chris is
Dressed
on.
as a horse or something, stuck in the sand.
I'm sinking.
At least I know. At least I know now that that is false.
Yeah. I know.
What?
Sammy
I'm
always
gonna-
thought
What's false?
Thought the horse died.
The horse dying was real.
Or did you fall for the rumor that they said it was alive
No,
afterwards?
no, it
Yeah.
was supposed to die afterwards. But
It's supposed to die while it was being filmed, and they kept it in the film, and it's not true. So thank God for that. I'm going to go into it with an open mind.
Yes. So
It's only an hour.
And
Talking about open minds. Oh,
an hour.
yeah.
See, we're smashing the segues tonight. Yeah, this is probably the most disturbing you'll ever see Robin Williams, and again, it's up there with Anthony Hopkins' Hannibal Lecter. I'll say that on camera.
No, and
Yeah.
I don't know how to respond to that because I don't think I could imagine him like that. But
Mhm.
there's a time in Hollywood where Robin Williams is up for nearly every major role. We talked about it in The Shining when he was up for that. What was keeping him the golden handcuffs on him
Mhm.
was Mork Mindy. Nobody wanted to touch him because he's too much of a funny guy. He was meant to be the Joker in Batman 89. There's so many roles that he was meant to do, but because of his comedic start on television, it wasn't for him. So to imagine him going to the depths of what people couldn't imagine him doing.
Well, this movie is so bizarre in the way it's done. It kind of like, to coin a phrase from Top Grumps, it keeps trumping itself with certain aspects. You think, oh, it can't get any more disturbing. Something happens. It can't get any worse. Something happens. And it's all in your head as well. It's all psychological. It's all playing with stuff and makes you feel uncomfortable from the very start to the very end of the movie. It's so well done. The pacing of it keeps you on tenterhooks. There's zero comedy aspect in this movie, which again, if I think with the subject matter, it would destroy the film. What it was trying to do, if they did do any comedy aspect, there's certain elements when you watch it back, and it's so cleverly done, and so in your face done. It's just like, oh, it's like basically the premise is he works as a photo lab technician at like in the UK. It'd be like if you went to Boots and got your pictures done.
Yeah.
It was like a shopping mall type situation where this family had been going for years, and he'd been kind of like romanticizing his life in that family through developing the photos.
Oh, fudge.
Yeah,
Okay.
you watch them grow up through the years because the family keeps coming back. So you
Mhm.
sees their Bens, and then them growing up.
And
Oh, so he has this whole fantasy life through photographs.
yeah, and the elements he does when, because it's starting off, he's in a cell, and you don't know why he's in a cell, and the police officer walks in to interview him, and he asks him a question, and that's where it leads into the film. And when he's sitting down, like, and there's just irks bad. Like, say this, he's sitting on the table doing the photography, and he hears this family come up to the desk, and he hears the name, and he jumps off his desk and he races to the front desk to take over from things. This is just the start, and he's talking to this woman, this the main actress, not like he's in love with her, like she's his best friend, and she's just like awkwardly having a conversation, being polite, and he's like asking all these things, and she's like saying, "Oh, I want the two sets of pictures in certain sizes." And it's this is where the direction of the film is great. It pans down to the form he's filling in because he's doing it right in front of her face, but she's that uncomfortable and doesn't want to look at him. She doesn't look, so instead of two, he writes three. So three sets of the film's pictures, and he puts for a different size as well. And she's like, "Oh, when can I have these pictures back? Because I've just basically filmed like two pictures of the kid's birthday party." And he's like, "Oh, it's only 45 minutes left in the day, so it'll have to be tomorrow." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And he's going, "I'm only joking. You're such a good customer. Well, I'll have these ready by such and such a thing." So he's going and getting them done, and he's got his own copy of the pictures. So he's taking them home, and the interactions, like the pictures, as you said, like everything you take a picture of, you try and perceive or show a perfect life.
Yeah.
And he's pitching himself where her life with her family isn't perfect. It's like going off the rails and stuff. And he's trying to interject into that family. Like he turns up at a son's like sports training, and it's like proper creepy. He's walking him home and stuff, and he gives him a toy. And he finds out her husband's having an affair by someone bringing pictures in. And he then goes fucking sinister. And you go to his house and you see his bedroom wall instead of, I think, his bedroom, living room wall is just covered with picture on picture of this family's life, and he's just like sitting there, and it's just the ick factor. And again, I know I'm going to tell the spoilers because the ending is just out there with how creepy it is. Basically, he gets the husband and the woman in a hotel room, and he forces them into different sexual positions, and it's like he's taking pictures of them because he's going to use them.
Williams.
Going to use them to take them as evidence. And he leaves the hotel and he's arrested because there's like a lot more creepy stuff goes on beforehand.
Yeah.
There's like taking pictures of a little girl and
no.
blackmail and stuff like that's going on. So he gets arrested and they find like him in the thing. And the husband and the mistress are so traumatized because of that experience, and he's in the police cell and he's trying to explain, and he goes, "So why did you do this?" And he goes, "Well, how would you act if someone close to you did things to you didn't like? How would you act if someone close to you made you do them things on camera?" So it's implying that he was abused as a child. And the police officer goes, "Oh, I understand now." And the thing that gets weird, they look at the photographs he took in the room, it's just of random objects. So everything that happened before, because there's bits where he's imagining breaking into the house and walking around, living in the house, having a shit on the toilet, but it's all in his head. But you don't know it until it gets to that point. So do you think is, did the things happen in the hotel room, is that in his head, or did he actually take the pictures?
Oh my god, it's American Psycho all over again.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that, because if you go on Reddit, there's fan theories, there's things that take all directions. Even Robin Williams said it's open to interpretation, but the director came out and said, "Oh, he definitely did it." But he took pictures of random things because he couldn't face himself to take the pictures. But again, it's just how you interpret the film. But it's so uncomfortable. It's literally you're watching it and you're like,
I am so fucking glad I didn't watch that. I had a mind fuck of a time with American Psycho this year.
yeah.
To the where it's only just been very recently I've finally stopped asking the question, well, did he do it?
Yeah.
I don't want that in my head again.
What about you, Chris? I know you've watched it. Did you experience the same type of thing as me as that, or did you get a different outlook?
No, I got a similar outlook, but I really like films like American Psycho and like that where you're thinking, did that happen? You've kind of got to go away and think about it.
What do you how
'Cause
long do you think for? That's my problem. I'm still thinking.
Mainly until you go to your mates and be like, have you seen this film? What do you think happened?
Yeah.
I think this happened.
Chris,
So then you
I have a podcast that I do that with, and I still couldn't get the fucker out my head.
But Donna's asking,
have you seen?
She missed what we said. It's 1 hour photo, Donna. That's the one. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you seen Memento?
Yes.
Yes. I don't want to talk
right.
about that one either.
But yeah, this came out around the time that the similar type of movies came out. Like if you watch Insomnia, Insomnia's an amazing like role because he's not the funny man. He's quite terrifying. There's an Al Pacino in it, like going crazy because he's basically Robin Williams' character is a serial killer in when there's no nighttime, so there's sunshine all the time. So Robin Williams, Al Pacino goes up to try and capture him, but he goes crazy because he can't sleep. Just but honestly, 1 hour photo. If you like psychological horrors, if you like things that make you feel uncomfortable and uneasy, it's not a pleasant watch, but his performance, because I don't know why it isn't raved about as much, because people talk about, like, as I said, Silence of the Lambs. I know it sounds weird. This role, like, he is so scary. He's scarier than Christian Bale in American Psycho.
That is saying something. He did I mentioned at the beginning, he did a really good episode of SVU. It's very similar. It has photos involved in it. I can't remember the episode off the top of my head, but it is a 2-parter, and it was I think that was the first time I went, oh hey, that man's got some acting chops.
But yeah,
when he's doing roles like that, I don't see him as Robin Williams. I see him as his performance. But when he's doing a comedy, what you think of him, then I see him as Robin Williams.
Yeah, I see him as Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Like, yeah.
But again, just to give it honourable mention as well, there was others that like I almost chose Popeye just for the crack. Just talk about Popeye. Flubber is one of the best kids family friendly TV movies ever. Toys is scary in so many different ways where it shouldn't be scary.
John Cusack is just fucking unreal in that film, but yes, Toys is a good one.
Still don't know what happened in Toys or what.
No, don't get it either. Not how I thought it was going to go.
But yeah, this
Jack
again. Oh, Jack's an emotional roller coaster, but again, but then you go like say some of these obscure ones where people love, like What Dreams May Come, and like these later ones, Night in the Museum, which when you hear like the stories from that is quite sad and like it's I think. And I know Chris mentioned one in the chat. Happy Feet is absolutely like say hilarious. Like voice acting to the best, and like Death to Smoochie. And again, not many people know about Death to Smoochie. It's a weird one. It's like a Barney dinosaur send off where it's a battle between the child actors, and he plays a field child, not child actors. You know, these CBBC presenter things. It's like an American one there where they've like got a crime against the things as well.
The clip I saw looked like a bloody acid trip.
The Birdcage, Father's Day.
The Birdcage, man.
Yeah, there's so many different ones we could have talked about, and like we could literally be on here all night. We
could be on for hours. If you want any of his because he's stand up, that's where he starts. His stand up. If you want any of his stand up, they are all available. Even his most recent or the most recent one, that is all on YouTube for you to watch for free. And I encourage you to go and look at his stylings as a comedian.
Come a comedian.
I think my brain's just stopped and given in.
go.
What am I trying? Comedian.
Comedian.
Oh,
He's a
oh, how
funny
could I-
guy. Am I a clown? Am I making you laugh? Sorry. When I'll
Chaka
Goodfellas on you.
waka waka. Yeah, go and watch YouTube. They're all on YouTube. Go and watch his Graham Norton interviews. That is just a performance in itself, and I love the fact they always give. It was just him and Graham when it was them two. I mean, because how could anyone share the stage with him and not? Oh, just watch them. I have loved every second of doing this one, and I generally didn't think I would get anything out of it. But I have gained so much appreciation that I feel that it will stay with me for a very long time.
Good. I see. I do have a good idea from time to time. So yes, that is going to be like as a wrap. We've spent way over longer than what we normally do.
Yeah,
we
this
went a
feels
bit-
like top
sorry.
5 lists.
Went old school with this one, but yeah, I don't think we could have done this in an hour
Nah,
or anything. I don't think I would have done any it would have been a bit of a disservice. I'll be honest.
It would have, and it would have been a rush factor, and it's something that we've spent some time on. Like we spend our own personal time outside of our work and personal life that we need to I feel like you need the time to express that, even if someone can't talk properly at the moment.
It's fine
because she can't get her words out.
And you got
and
me
really
rapping.
Like,
that was worth it for the rap. But yeah,
exactly.
So yes, what's happening tomorrow, Sammy?
Oh, I remembered. It's Monster Monday tomorrow, 8 o'clock on the Nerdy Up North YouTube channel. We are doing They Live.
They Live.
You'll
Roddy,
get that joke tomorrow.
motherfucking Piper.
Yes, John Carpenter's They Live, which is really weird. Not saying John Carpenter's They Live. It's just They Live.
Yeah,
it just feels really weird.
Yeah, he didn't have his title on that one, did he?
He didn't. But it's so good. This is my first viewing of it.
Were you chewing any bubble gum?
Chewing something, because honestly, the last few days my brain has been like mush to where I barely remember half the stuff that I said. But I remember it being a lot of fun. So that is up on Monday. The audio for that episode and any other episode that came out from the Nerdy Up North guys will be available on Tuesday. From anywhere you get your podcast from.
And what's happening on Tuesday, Chris? I was going to call you Goodwill for some reason. Oh, God.
Our audio listeners... It's Shrek.
Oh, just cut up.
Shrek in it!
Yeah, we've got episode Top Grumps, 1 o'clock on Tuesday. We're talking about Shrek.
Yeah.
Shrek. And what colour are you?
Green. All three of us are. We're all brogas.
I mean, yeah.
For our audio listeners, Paul has got his head in his hands.
Are you surprised? I actually surprised. Yeah, the one show that I've not been on, that and Trek.
I haven't found a character good enough for you yet, Sammy.
You did Beetlejuice. Get fucked.
To be fair though, Sammy, you are too good for that show. I'm going to say that now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
No, I'm only joking. What else is coming out? I haven't asked the peoples what's happening this week, but likelihood is Jake and Adam will be on Twitch on Wednesday. The Trek guys might be back on Friday. I really don't know, and it's only because I've not asked the question.
No,
but the schedule goes up on a Tuesday if you want to go and check that out on the Facebook page.
Yeah. I know, and again, we were planning on doing another big episode next week with Goldie Hawn, but with everything that we've got going on, we've decided to change that one up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to announce it now because me and Sammy made the decision to do it about 10 minutes before Chris joined us.
Literally.
Oh.
So we are going to do something a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more fun. We're going to do Kevin Smith's Dogma.
Oh.
So yes, we'll be talking poop monsters and everything.
Buddy Jesus.
Buddy Jesus and Buddy Christ and
Buddy Christ.
What was the other one? I can't remember. A Woman God, which is perfect.
Matt Damon.
I'm a fucking demon. I can't wait to rewatch this. This is This is a film I can actually
Mhm.
enjoy with my mother.
Yes.
My mother loves this movie, so
Mhm.
it's gonna be fun.
So
Gonna be
yes,
fun.
So we'll do
Are you
Dogma
going to say
next.
didn't have a ticket?
Didn't
Kick
have a
someone out.
ticket. So who's dressing? That's the punishment. Chris has to dress as the poo monster.
Have you seen Dogma?
Yeah, I love Dogma.
Oh, that's okay. I'm not being funny when I ask that
Selma
question. I
Hayek.
just have to check.
Yes, but I love that movie. It is up there. But yeah, so Dogma
Mhm.
is going to be next weekend, and then remember we've got the quiz on Thursday.
Yep. I was
So-
just about to remind you.
So yeah, so we've got the quiz on Thursday night. We get more of my singing, a few pictures, a few silliness. I've changed the 80s round to Goonies round, so I'm going to ask you 10 questions on the Goonies.
I can't wait for this. I don't know anything. I don't know any of the questions or anything like that. He sounds like he's putting on an absolute show for
Mhm.
everyone. So I'm joining just to see what he's gonna pull out.
So
Do you want us to pre-record me winner's speech or?
Have you seen how competitive I am? Were you on the last quiz that we did? I was
Yeah,
awful.
I came above you.
You're above us. I was awful on that.
We did all right on the last quiz we went to. It was Adam and
Yeah.
Ducky that was bad. We were good, me and Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hosting it, so that's why I wasn't participating. Otherwise, I would have won. Just saying.
Getting
Yeah,
excuses in.
Because like say Adam kept on saying, "I got that question right." I was like, "We didn't see it." But yeah, but that was fine. It is
So
no, no.
yeah,
But yeah,
I
so
think that's covered
that's covered.
everything. But
Yeah.
but we do have the charity stream coming up. Thank you to
Mhm.
everyone who has donated already. If you're on YouTube, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't ever miss an episode.
Yes. So same bat time, same bat channel.
And stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.